Hi guys, thanks for clicking play. Welcome to episode 51 of Bringing Back Brum. Now after a break for the World Cup, Birmingham City are back. We have today the end of season review for the season that has just gone in the Premier League. Let's go through all the stats. Run the intro. And I think it's fair to say it wasn't a great season in the Premier League, was it? We finished 18th, which, is the last of the relegation places. We were relegated from the Premier League. And I think the main reason why, as you can see, the match of the season was the first game of the season. It had its ups and downs, but it didn't have many ups after that particular point, as the league positions suggested. As the league's position suggests. Obviously we spent most of the time in the bottom of the table and then subsequently in the bottom three. A moment to forget was the 6-1 defeat by Manchester United. We took a bit of a battering from Manchester United from all over the place. Lost them in the FA Cup, lost them in the Carabao Cup. St Andrews was full for 91% of the season, which was great to see, and we used 28 players, which was the third most in the Premier League, which is again potentially a reason why we were relegated. But the end of season awards were a bit interesting. So the fans' player of the season was James Wilson at 38%. Mark Noble was second with 28, Che Adams with 21. Mark Noble's goal against Manchester United was the goal of the season. Signing of the season was James Wilson, and he was also voted again the young player of the season. But I do feel that's a bit harsh on Mr. Alex Rossi, who was our top scorer with 17 goals. Mark Noble had the highest average rating. Jota had the most assists. Mark Noble had the best passing rate at 88%. Che Adams won the most player matches with only 3. And again, in a 38-game season, if your player only wins 3, admittedly there might have been others, but that's still not great. Michael Keeftenbell only had 9 yellow cards this season. He did well, but he was sent off, as was Chekan and Mark Noble. But it wasn't for a lack of goals that we were relegated from the Premier League. That is very much for certain. As already mentioned, Alexander Rossi had 17. James Wilson got 12. Jack Marriott had 7 before he was moved on in January. Che Adams chipped in with 6. James Maddison with 5. Aidan Flint with 4. Patrick Curton got 2, and there was quite a few people who got the odd one to chip in. We actually scored 51 Premier League goals in the season. The only problem is we conceded 87, and that was the most. Looking at the assists as well, it's a bit of a boo-boo on my part. Jota actually had the most assists in the season, despite playing the least amount of games out of the creative players. Was that a mistake on my part? Looking back, and obviously seeing all the statistics, yes it was. Che Adams also chipped in with 6, James Maddison with 4, Mark Noble had 4, Chekan had 4, Michael Keeftenbell had 4, so we had plenty of people who were chipping in with assists, just Jota had the most. And we can't really blame it on the injuries either, because we didn't have a lot. Joe Bryant was out for the most, as was Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson really never regained his place after being injured. James Wilson had 5 weeks out, but again, the form of Alex Rossi kind of curtailed that being a problem. So yeah, definitely not the injuries that caused our relegation, just sheer lack of quality. Another big factor in our relegation was the amount of wins we actually had in the Premier League. That's it. 5. All at home. We never won an away game in the season. We only had 4 draws as well. We were spanked quite a few times. Obviously, Liverpool spanked us. Tottenham did. Manchester United did. Everton did. Chelsea did. And, there's a big reason why we conceded 87 goals in the season. Because we were getting hammered by the biggies. Very much so. Arsenal were probably the only team that didn't really beat us out of the big Premier League fish, at least. So if you missed towards the end of the last campaign, I was kind of telling you what the idea was going to be going forward. So we're going to leave Birmingham City is the key thing from it. Where we're going to go, I don't know. It's open to a lot of places. Obviously, as you can see, I've applied for the job at Seville in Spain. Will I get it? Probably not. West Ham is available. I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. Chelsea, again, another team that I've done Arsenal. I don't really want to stick around in the Premier League. I want to go abroad. Whether that's Scotland, whether that's Italy, whether that's Spain, I don't know. But obviously you will see something on the channel when a new job comes up. I'll do a little video to say where we're headed next before the first episode of the new series. It will change its title, but I'll probably keep the episode numbers the same. So we're up to 51 with this episode. Obviously that'll be number 52 when it starts. And that's about it for bringing back Brum as a series. It will continue, as I've said just then. We will carry on with a new club. Who that will be, you and I will find out together. I will apply for jobs as they become available. I will stay the Birmingham City manager because I feel that it's better to stay in employment. You are more likely to be offered a job in employment than out of it. And, you know, if worst comes to worst, we may stay with Birmingham City, but that is not really what I want to do. I do want to give somebody else a crack, mainly because I know that the time frame is short between now and FM19. Obviously, if I do another season of bringing back Brum, Birmingham needs to get promoted at the first attempt, and I'm not entirely sure whether they do that, but we'll then obviously play another season of Premier League football. Will we, won't we survive? I don't think it'll have the appeal to it that I want it to have, and I want you to enjoy the series as well as me making the episodes. So that's why the new club, I think, is essential, and we will find out who that new club is. If you've enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and would like to do so, please click the subscribe button down in the corner. Thank you for all the support for bringing back Brum. It's been amazing. It is goodbye to Birmingham City, but hello to who? Find out, and I'll do a little video, as I said, to let you know who that's going to be before the first episode of the new series. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.